Hello, good morning everyone. So, I'll be starting with a new topic. I don't know how many of you have dealt with this. We have all done jumbled sentences when we were kids, or we may have come across in many magazines or comics, or jumbled words maybe. We are going to be doing parajumbles. As the word suggests, parajumbles are sentences that are jumbled up and you need to put them in the proper manner, in the proper chronological order. Alright, so yes, they are like jigsaw puzzles as this picture shows. So all we need to do is just put them into the right order. There are again no rules, there is no protocol to deal with it, but there is a way that you can deal with this. Alright, so let us just start doing that. As you can see, the race track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the jumbled sentences would be like somewhat like 4, 1, 3, 7, something like that. Alright, so let's just see what kind of parajumble questions might come and what is the way of tackling them. Okay, I'm going to be starting with the meaning of it. Parajumbled Parajumbles are jumbled paragraphs. Basically, you're given a paragraph, but the sentences are not in the right order. It's up to you to untie this knot and rearrange the sentences so that they logically make sense. Normally, instructions for this type of questions will read: choose the most logical order of sentences from among the given choices to construct a coherent paragraph. Coherent paragraph is something that makes sense. Alright? Next, what are parajumbles? A parajumble, as the name suggests, is a paragraph with randomly jumbled sentences. Candidates are required to rearrange and straighten out the jumbled sentences and make the paragraph meaningful. Solving parajumbles is like solving a jigsaw puzzle. You try out different combinations till the full picture emerges. Types of parajumbles. In some parajumbles, the candidates are given the introductory or opening sentence of the parajumble and they are required to unjumble the remaining sentences. In some, the closing sentence is provided and the candidates are required to use this to rearrange the remaining sentences. In some, both the opening and closing, that means the concluding sentences, are given. These are the easiest parajumbles to solve. In most cases, neither the opening nor the closing sentences are given. The candidate has to figure out that out on his own or her own. These are the most challenging parajumbles to solve. How to approach parajumbles? For people who have done it for the first time in life, it can be a little tricky, or you might just get confused and disheartened. So, let us just do this in a very, very systematic manner. Step 1: read the parajumble. Given the parajumble, a quick scan to get a feel of what the passage is about. Find out the central theme of the parajumble. Understanding the central theme or dialogue helps determine the flow of the story, which goes a long way in helping you piece the paragraph together in the right order. Step 2: look for the opening sentence. In a paragraph, the opening sentence usually introduces a person, place, concept, premise, committee, and establishes a scene, whereas a closing sentence is the one that has a conclusion. Closing sentences or conclusions start with the words like therefore, thus, hence, etc., and contain advices, recommendations, suggestions, or summaries. It's a good idea to find both opening and closing sentences. Once these two are determined, finding the other sentences becomes easy. For example, again, I always believe that whatever in English you study, it has to be in the form of examples. Whatever I may have read in the previous slides or in the last two slides may have confused you a little bit, but just to make that easier, we are going to be taking some examples. She was waiting for her train. Geeta was at the railway station. She was going back home on a vacation. So these are jumbled up sentences. Let us see how can we resolve these. In the above example, clearly the second option B is the introductory opening sentence. The passage talks about train, railway station, vacation. The first sentence must essentially introduce the person who's catching the train to go on a vacation. Sentence A and C refer to the person as she, which is an indication that these aren't the opening sentences. Therefore, option B is the opening sentence. It introduces the person Geeta and the place railway station. Step 3: Weave the sentences together. Once you are done finding the opening or the introductory and closing concluding sentence, start weaving the other sentences together based on factors like activities, time, chronology, any other sequence. Activities. Some parajumbles talk about activities. Determining the order of the activities will help you solve the question. Start by finding out the initial activity. This will enable you to unfold a sequence that follows the flow of the story, thereby helping you put the sentences in the right sequence. For example, she sells cupcakes throughout the day and returns home at 6 in the evening. She has her dinner at 8 and goes to sleep at 11. Maria has a cupcake business. She makes the cupcakes at home in the morning. Central theme. Activities of a person who owns a cupcake business. Activity tracking. Sentence C is clearly the opening sentence since it introduces a person, Maria, and her cupcake business. The parajumbles talk about her routine, that is, from morning to evening. Therefore, sentence D comes second as it talks about her morning activity. In the morning is an indicator. This is followed by a sentence A which talks about her creativity throughout the day. The concluding sentence is sentence B. It talks about Maria's activities after coming back from home. After coming back home, dinner and goes to sleep at 11 are indicators of a conclusion. Therefore, the right order of a parajumble is C, D, A, B. Let us just read the sentences C, D, A, B. C. Maria has a cupcake business. She makes the cupcake at home in the morning. She sells cupcakes throughout the day and returns home at 6 in the evening. She has her dinner at 8 and goes to sleep at 11. So this makes more sense. I hope you guys are getting an idea of how to do a parajumble. Abbreviations and full forms. Some things that you need to keep in mind. Some parajumbles contain a sentence with a full form and other sentences with its abbreviations. Here the sentence with the full form comes first, followed by the sentence with the abbreviations. Abbreviations are always introduced with its full form in preceding sentences. Example, the CPU carries out the instructions given by the computer program. The central processing unit is an important part of a computer. CPUs are considered the heart and brains of a computer. In the above example, sentence A and C contain the abbreviation CPU and sentence B contains the full form of CPU. Therefore, sentence B comes before sentences A and C. The right order is sentence B, A and C. Let us just read through this. The central processing unit is an important part of a computer. The CPU carries out the instructions given by the computer program. C. CPU are considered the heart and brains of a computer. Ideas and examples. Ideas always precede the examples. Some parajumbles contain ideas, an example of those ideas. The examples always follow the ideas. Example, like the continental shelf, continental slope, abyssal plain, and oceanic trenches. The ocean floor is divided into many parts. In the above example, sentence A contains examples and sentence B introduces an idea. Hence, sentence B comes before sentence A. Sentence B and sentence A, let us just read through this. The ocean floor is divided into many parts, like the continental shelf, continental slope, abyssal plain, and oceanic trenches. Connectives and transition words. Connectives and transition words are logical connectors of different sentences. Connectives are words that connect two sentences together. Some examples of connectives are after, when, because, alternatively, although, though, yet, until, since, etc. Transition words are words used by the author to shift one idea in a sentence to another, that is, ushering a change. Some examples of transition words are however, besides, nevertheless, etc. Sentences that start with a connective or a transition word are almost never introductory sentences. They are referred to activities, events, people mentioned, introduced in the preceding sentences. Articles. The articles the, a, help in finding out the order of the sentences. The is a definite article which is used before something or someone specific, or when someone has already been introduced in the previous sentences. Whereas a or and articles are used when something is being introduced for the first time and are also used when stating general facts. A sentence containing a and an could be introductory sentences. For example, the girl had unusually long hair. There was a girl living in a tall tower, and the tower was the tallest in town and hidden behind a dense foliage. Now let us solve this. In the above example, article A is used to introduce the girl and the tower, and the article the is used while mentioning the girl and the tower in options A and C respectively. Hence, option B comes before opening A and option C. Option C contains the connective and, which is used to connect two sentences. Hence, C comes after A. The right order is B, A, C. So let us just start reading that in the correct form. There was a girl living in a tall tower. The girl had unusually long hair, and the tower was the tallest in town and hidden behind a dense foliage. Pronouns. Pronouns he, she, it, him, her, their, etc. are used in place of a person, place, thing that has already been introduced in one of the preceding sentences. So if you find a pronoun in a sentence, it probably isn't an opening sentence. Example, Ajay is a good singer. He has learnt vocal music for 12 years. In the above example, option B contains the pronoun he. Whoever he is should essentially be introduced in one of the preceding sentences. Option A introduces a person, Ajay. Hence, he mentioned in option B refers to Ajay. Option A comes before option B. Alright, so the order that is mentioned over here is in the correct order. Adjective. Sometimes adjectives can help solve parajumbles too, especially comparative adjectives like better, worse, taller, shorter, etc. Example, Rahul's performance was good. Rahul and Ashok danced on the same song. Ashok's performance was better. Let us solve this. In the above example, the adjectives good and better are used. Better always comes after good. Good, better, best. Hence, the options containing good comes before the option containing better. So the right order is B, A, C. Let us read the correct order. Rahul and Ashok danced on the same song. Rahul's performance was good. Ashok's performance was better. Time sequence approach. Sometimes parajumbles contain a time sequence, that is words indicating a time sequence such as dates, years, or words like before, later, after, when, etc. Notice these words can be aware of them as they can help rearrange the sentences according to the right time sequence. For example, Hemant eats his dinner at 8 p.m. sharp. Post homework, he is allowed to watch TV for half an hour. After that, he does his homework. In the above example, the words after and post denotes time sequence. Hence, option C, A and B come after option A. Right order is A, C and B. Let us just read the sentences in the correct order. The correct order is Hemant eats his dinner at 8 p.m. sharp. After that, he does his homework. Post homework, he's allowed to watch TV for half an hour. So you have to see what is the sequence of the events that happen, what comes later, what comes before, what do they do after a particular point in time. Reread the sentences to ensure connectivity. Once you have read the sentences in the right order, reread the passages to make sure that it makes sense grammatically and logically. The right order should have a continuity in the flow of the sentences and should also make the sentence meaningful. So there is no shortcut of doing parajumbles. You just have to crack the code. You have to just know that, okay, this sounds okay, this sounds well. So this is how you have to read the passage again and again. You have to read the lines again and again to make a sense out of it. Let us see some tips of how to do parajumbles. If the given sentences are too lengthy and you're running out of time, be vigilant and pay attention to keywords like transition words, pronouns, adjectives, and articles to solve it quickly. Notice sentences in paragraphs of novels and newspaper. Notice how they are weaved together and how the verbs used to connect the sentences and conclude the paragraphs. Read a variety of texts to prepare yourself for any kind of passage. Improve your vocabulary. Learn new words every day and use them in your conversations. Being thorough in grammar and vocabulary will go a long way in help you solve parajumbles. Let us do an example together. Here's a sample parajumble. Try and solve it. Solutions are given at the end. In the following sentences, the first and the last part of the sentence passage are numbered 1 and 6. Rest of the passage sentence is split into 4 parts and named P, Q, R and S. These 4 parts are not given in the proper order. Read the sentences and find out which 4 combination is correct. So you have to know that questions like this come when the opening and the closing sentence is already given to you. The first sentence and sixth sentence is already given. You need to crack P, Q, R, S. Alright, so let us start reading that. And the options that you're given are A, B, C and D. So the first one, Nalanda became India's famous center point of education. So you know that the first sentence is given, that is the opening of the sentence. P, 10,000 Buddhist monks used to live there. Q, it is situated near the town of Bihar Sharif. R, the ruins of Nalanda can still be seen. S, it was visited by the Chinese pilgrim Hyun Sang. Sixth, the closing sentence is for sure that this is a closing one. He stayed there for several years. Now, let us just try resolving this. You can just note this down and just try to solve it on your own, and then just you can recheck if whatever the answer is, does it match yours. Solution. In the above passage, the first and the last sentences are given. The last sentence has a he referring to a certain person who was introduced in one of the preceding sentences. The only sentence with a person being introduced is option S. Therefore, S is the second last sentence. The only option with option S as second last sentence is option C. You can arrange the given sentences in the order given in option C and read it to ensure it sounds logically and grammatically correct. Also, rearrange them in order of the other options too and see if any other sentences makes more sense than option C. The option that makes the paragraph make most sense grammatically and logically is the right option. So, the correct option is option C. We hope the above helps you briefly understand what parajumbles are. I am going to go back to the passage and let us just try reading option R. So, the option C is RQPS. Alright, let us read it in that order. Nalanda has become India's famous center of education. The ruins of Nalanda can still be seen. It is situated near the town of Bihar Sharif. 10,000 Buddhist monks used to live there. It was visited by the Chinese pilgrim Hyun Sang. He stayed there for several years. Alright, so this is the correct order of it. How to identify the parajumbles? It's a small simple chart that I have given. You have to pick the central theme of the passage. You have to identify the opening sentence. You have to highlight the clues in every sentence. You need to determine the qualifiers, qualified sentences. And lastly, you have to eliminate the unsuitable options. Alright? 3 type of parajumble questions. Let us see what are the type of parajumble questions that you may have to attempt. In this type of question, you will see the question with 4 or 5 sentences. These sentences need to be arranged simply into a paragraph. These type are simple in nature as it contains fewer sentences compared to others. Okay. So now it is a simple protocol of A, B, C and D. You just need to unjumble all the sentences that are given. Alright. So this is the type of question 1. Second type. Under this type you will be having a question with fixed openings and closing sentences. So in total there will be 6 to 7 sentences in the question, out of which 2 are fixed. you need to rearrange the remaining ones only. S1 and S2 are already given, that is the opening sentence and the closing sentences are already given. Your options are P, Q, R and S, and if you feel that there is no option that matches yours, then your correct answer is or none of these. Type 3. Under these type, questions will come after jumbling of sentences. In other words, there will be sentences which you need to rearrange first. After that, you have to give answers of the questions. Let's understand the same with the help of an example. Reorganize the below given 6 sentences in correct sequences to make a meaningful paragraph and then answer questions after rearranging it. So there are going to be sentences that are, for example, A, B, C, D, E, and F, and after that you will have questions based on that. For example, the questions here are, which of the following should be the fifth sentence in the paragraph? Now you need to figure out what the fifth sentence is. So for that you will have to arrange it first and then answer the questions. Okay, now these are some of the practice exercises that we'll be doing in the next classes, or you would have it in your books, so please refer to that and please practice parajumbles. It is a very interesting part of English or the verbal communication that you have, so please practice as much as you can. Okay, so I'll just end it over here, people, and if any doubts or if any confusions, please just note it down and we'll resolve it in the next classes. Thank you so much.